Welcome to the debut of the Empowered Homeowner. We are nailing homeownership with humor and heart. I am your host, Beth Allen, DIY expert, educator, and contractor. Let me introduce myself. The joke is that I teach women how to screw and hammer too. But what I really do is empower homeowners, not just women, to be capable and confident as homeowners and beyond. The short story is this. I'm actually an RN and was director of nursing in a retirement community, then became a stay-at-home mom. With 3 little boys underfoot, I tackled all the projects around my house. I did drywall, electric, plumbing, carpentry, you name it. And my husband was happy to have me driving the hammer and our to-do list. I studied design at Temple University, and I realized that I wanted to empower other women to be able to take on these projects. So I started teaching live and virtual DI classes. I am insured and licensed as a contractor and a handy woman. And for 13 years, I have been helping women build the home that they love. I am also the author of Flush the Fear. It's a DIY guide to flushing fear, anxiety, and negative crap from our lives. You could call it a self-improvement book with a toilet and twirl metaphor. Over the years, I've been seen on Philly TV 150 times. I've done live demos for QVC for 3 years, and I was featured on The Rachel Ray Show. My YouTube channel has 4.6 million views. So you might say that I've reached a lot of people in the last few years, but that is the part of Hip Chicks that I love the most, educating and empowering you. So this Empowered Homeowner Show is about sharing the knowledge, the skill, and the guts to help you master homeownership. We'll talk about doing it yourself, when to hire a pro, how to protect your home, and I've got great guests lined up in home repair, restoration, and renovation. We'll be talking about insurance, finance, and real estate. The biggest part is about tapping into your mindset too, because you owe it to yourself and to your family to understand your home, advocate for it, and protect it, no matter what the size or style. Whether you have a Walmart budget or an Ethan Allen budget, you deserve a home that is beautiful, functional, and safe. Now, enough about me, because this show is about empowering you, the homeowner. Let me introduce you to my first guest, Jodi Silverman. Jodi is the founder of Moms Who Dare. She is host of the podcast Beyond Empty Nest and a keynote speaker. And she's also a dear friend. We are kindred souls when it comes to pushing people out of their comfort zone and into living life fearlessly, because taking ownership of life, work, and your home starts with being daring enough to try. Welcome, Jodi.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here. Yes.
We have been plotting this for days, and we're so excited. Jodi, you coach people on getting out of their own way so that they can move and try new things. You're a certified happiness coach,
Yes,
which is too fun. And you also teach manifestation skills. Can you share, what do you think holds most people back from trying new things like DIY projects?
Well, we all know the big word is fear. Fear. And it's fear of getting it wrong, fear of failure. It really is. It's between the fear of failing, messing up, and that all revolves around self-judgment.
Yeah. And I told people when I was a nurse, if I made mistakes, there were consequences.
Yeah.
Now you just go and buy a new piece of drywall. Not
right.
a big deal.
I mean,
right?
if you mess up painting your room, so call
It's paint.
somebody.
Yeah, exactly. One of the things that you and I have talked about, and I did with you, because you love your vision board workshops.
Do.
Oh my gosh. And we're both such visual people. You've talked about these vision boards and tell us to put everything that we want in life on our vision boards. Mm-hmm. we've talked about the houses.
Yes.
And we have these visions of these massive estates, on the beach or in the mountains. Tell me about your vision manifestation for your house. What is this thing that you want?
So, put big and small things on a vision board. Mm-hmm. Put the mansions, because you never know how things will come to fruition. You can manifest, you can have a vision in your mind, and it can manifest in a little bit of a different way than you ever thought. So for me, I visualized before I even knew I was visualizing. I didn't even know I was doing a thing. I visualized and I brought into manifestation the house that I'm living in now. It's my dream home in my dream neighborhood. I've been there for 26 years. And I did it because every single day I lived in a neighboring community. I drove through this single family home. I lived in a townhouse. When we first bought the townhouse, we walked through. I wanted to get ideas. My first home ownership, who doesn't want ideas? So what do? There were sample
drive
homes.
Around, right? You go, I want that style, the Tudor,
Yep.
the colonial, whatever.
And I walked into a sample home literally a half a mile down the road from my townhouse, and I fell in love with it. Didn't wish I wanted it that moment. I loved my townhouse. I hadn't even lived there yet. But for the next 3 years, I would drive through that single home neighborhood in that specific model. It was called the Waterford at the time.
Oh my gosh, and you remember the name.
I do. There was a 2-car and a 3-car, and I literally could point out every single home in that neighborhood that was that model. And I knew one day I would be living in that home. And it was literally 3 years.
Wow.
And
That's crazy.
we got the call. That's a friend of ours who lived in that exact home on the perfect street in that perfect neighborhood.
Yeah. And you're up on the nice big plot on the top of a hill, no flooding issues, It's like perfect placement.
Perfect place.
Well, that's the power of that manifestation and thinking about that. I have a vision board that I put a special GE cafe oven on, because I wanted this 5-burner, griddle top oven. And I had it on my vision board. And I had told my husband about this oven, and it was very expensive. And he was like, yeah, when it goes on sale, you let me know, right? And I'm like, okay, fine. When it goes on sale, I will get this oven. So wouldn't you know, 8 months later, I'm in Home Depot, and I'm walking down the aisle, and the store model, the floor model, is on sale for half off. I literally called my husband from the Home Depot parking lot, and I said, that story you said about the oven, that I could get it on sale? Well, he goes, no. And I said, yep. Well, that oven's been in my kitchen for 12 years, and I absolutely love it.
That's how it works. See it, dream it. If you can dream it, and then see it and keep it in your mind's eye, and then put your head down and just take small action steps, everything comes to fruition eventually.
Yeah.
I believe that.
Yeah. Well, speaking about manifestation, let's hear a word from our sponsor, LBK Design Build. Dreaming of transforming your space into something new and fresh? With LBK Design, you work with a family-owned business with over 10 years of experience servicing the Bucks and Montgomery County area. They are dedicated to making every client feel like you are the only client. With one expert team, your space is crafted with care and tailored to your style and budget. Relax and enjoy your custom designed space, knowing your home will be treated like it is their own. Call them at 215-675-5000 for your free estimate. With LBK, dream it, build it, love it. Well, I love that tagline from LBK of dream it, build it, love it. And that's what we want to do for our homes and our lives. And that's one of the things that I love about the work you do with women is pushing women to get out of that comfort zone. And a lot of your work is with empty nesters. And I'm a half empty nester. I'm not fully empty yet. We've talked about home and it's the center of life. What are your tips on how can that new empty nester navigate the emptiness in that house?
Well, first of all, it is an empty space that's left, right? So we want to acknowledge that it's okay to be sad and it's empty. And yet, I guess my number one go-to tip I have, which is what I needed to do for myself, is to figure out which time of the day in your home feels the most empty to you. So for me, and for a lot of moms, it's the hours between 3 and 7 when, coming home from school and all the activity in the house and you were getting ready for, soccer practice or cooking the meal or whatever it is you were doing. Take that chunk of time and create a new normal. Create a new normal. Maybe go run errands. Maybe call your best friend, like a Beth Allen, and go for a walk at a local park. Make a new normal. And shake it up a little bit so that time becomes a different time just about you.
That's a great way to look at it.
Yeah.
So that, the home is a living entity. And when the people have left and now the noise level is different, the activity level is different, it really matters. And we feed off the energy. And when that energy level drops, we feel it. Now, there are times when it's completely relaxing.
Oh, absolutely. Sit with a book. Maybe your new normal is, oh my God, I'm going to pour myself a glass of wine and sit with a book and trashy novel or whatever it is for you.
Exactly, because you're not running around. But, when it comes to the space that the kids leave empty, I know for a while when the kids went to college, I was so missing the pile of shoes at the door.
Yes. It was there every Friday night. My son, he was my youngest to leave. Every Friday night, the boys would come and hang out in our basement. I would walk into the most disgusting, gross-looking piles of shoes. And you know what? Sometimes I wish I could see those pile of shoes, even all these years later. So
yeah, you just miss the messes that the kids create in your life. Any thoughts on what we can do with their bedroom when they leave in terms of fulfilling that hole without a complete renovation?
Yes. I mean, well, first of all, embrace the fact that the clutter is gone. Like, I remember sitting in my daughter's room when I dropped her off to college, and I came back and I sat there and I looked at all the memories on her walls, and it was, a little bittersweet sad. I had tears in my eyes and I was sad. And then at the same time, I'm like, this room is clean. This room, the bed is made. There are no water bottles around, because today there's water bottles in bedrooms. And same with my son. I'm like, his bed is made. I can leave the door open. And my dog, at the time when I had my dog, I'm like, and my dog will survive and not get injured walking into their rooms. So, and I know I say a little humor there, but, embrace, look at find the gift in the mess. Find the gift in the empty space. And for me, it was the rooms are clean and I can leave the doors open.
Yeah. Yeah. And the bathrooms stay clean.
Yeah. And you can clean it up a little bit. I mean, it's been years now, but we're getting ready to rip everything off the walls and repaint and because my kids are gone from the mess.
When our oldest left the nest and had his own place and was engaged, it was like, okay, we've got 3 bedrooms. I only had one kid that was staying home. The other one was at college. And my middle guy was going to be working full-time from home. And I didn't want him living and working in his room because he worked remotely 2 days a week. So it was like, all right, we're going to move one kid from the 3rd bedroom into the bigger bedroom.
Yep.
And then that 3rd bedroom, which had been the nursery, like come full circle, that was the nursery for all 3 boys. And now it is an office and it has a golf theme, which is something that the whole family plays. So it embraces, it's a space that we all can feel a piece of, even though it was my son's bedroom, it's now the other son's office.
That's great.
And it's just a comfortable space. But engaging your kids when they leave of what do you want off the walls?
Yeah, so I just got permission. My daughter's 29.
Okay.
And I just got permission that there were some things on the walls. She's like, throw them away. You're good.
Okay.
Because I told her, I said, we're getting ready for the renovation here. And I want to clean it up. But, when you come home, it's your room. What can I get rid of? And she's like, oh, you could throw all that out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you still have boxes in the basement of their things?
Only a few. We have been downsizing a lot over the years, decluttering within our home. So I took it, I condensed it. There are a couple boxes. And here's the thing. Most likely they're not going to want what's in those boxes. So I was able to condense it to like 2 or 3 boxes for each of my 2 children. And when I'm ready, they'll have to come and tell me, do you want these or don't? So it takes time to really be able to declutter those memories and DIY through those memories.
Yeah. And it is a process of going through their stuff because you decorated their rooms for them, with them when they were little, and now they're not there. And, there might be things that mean nothing to them, but have sentiment to you.
Yeah.
And how do you replace them into a different part of the house and put them into a new space that maybe gives you new meaning?
Yeah, no, it's true. There's so many really good DIY hacks for your memories that I've learned from other DIY experts, including yourself. And it's all about when you're ready to do it. And you will get ready to do it, but you don't have to. There's no rule that go ahead and empty everything out and throw all your memories away, but start condensing. Really look at it and say, do they want this? And when we were decluttering, I would take pictures. I say, do you want this? I recently completely emptied my son's closet.
That's a great way to save the memories,
Yes.
but not throw them all away by taking the photos. Because the reality is we don't need want to keep every piece of art they did in kindergarten. There's the few that are important. Yeah. I have great pictures that my kids did in preschool. They were self-portraits, and they're adorable. And I have the 3 of them, and they were all framed. But when we redid our basement after Hurricane Flood Ida destroyed our basement, I didn't want to get rid of them, but I have them in the closet where all the games are kept and all the camera equipment that we use for the business is kept. So every time I open that closet, I still have all 3 of the little boys' faces there. So they're not gone. They're just reassigned to a different location.
I like that, reassigning.
And it worked out beautifully. Now, you and I have talked a lot about homeownership over the years. And I know you don't have a background specific in home repair, but you're no wallflower when it comes to advocating for your homeownership. Now, you've spoken about having some experience as a kid being exposed to DIY. So tell me about that toolbox.
Yes. So I have a toolbox, and it says on it, Jodi's Fix-It Shop. So years ago, my parents are divorced, and my mom was dating a gentleman, and he was very handy. And he built this really cool, I don't even know how to explain it, but a wall in our kitchen. He built this wood wall. And I was fascinated. I wanted to learn. So I would hang out with him while he did it. And he would let me do some things. I don't remember everything, maybe hammer or do something. But he embraced the fact that I was curious and I liked watching and helping. And he bought me that toolbox. And it literally says Jodi's Fix-It Shop. And we still have it today.
Oh, gosh. What color?
It's just an old metal, an old-time metal.
Yeah, the old classic
toolbox.
ones.
I don't even think I have it at my home. I actually think my mom and my stepfather have it today.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
But what a gift. That was the
was.
gift of empowerment.
Yeah.
Not so much that you even remember the skills, but you remember the feeling
Yeah.
that you had being a part of the project. You weren't shooed away like some parents shoo their kids away, especially the girls, that, you don't do this. So kudos to him for embracing you into that. Now, we've talked about you're somewhat hands-on, but what has been a project that you've done by yourself around the house that you've been proud of?
I mean, my biggest project was years ago, I painted, which is hard. You either like painting or you don't painting.
I love painting. But
It's the prep. It's the prep.
Yes.
That was daring for me because I'm not a very patient person. But I did. I painted my son's bedroom and I painted my daughter's bathroom. Bathrooms were hard. That's hard. You have behind the toilet. You have little spaces.
Yep.
But I've done a lot of painting. And I've been known to fix a running toilet here and there.
You go, girl.
Whether in my house or an adjustment needed in a hotel room so I don't have to call down the housekeeping at 2 a.m.
Oh my gosh, I did that once in a Subway restaurant in Miami on vacation. Went to the bathroom, flushed, and the toilet didn't flush. So I opened the lid. I saw the chain was loose. So I rehooked the chain and I put the lid back on, flushed the toilet, and went back out. And I say to the girl at the desk, I said, the toilet isn't working. She goes, I'm so sorry. The maintenance guy's on his way. And I said, well, you can cancel him because I just fixed it. And she was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And my husband's like, you couldn't have come out a couple seconds sooner. We might have gotten a free meal out of this.
I know.
But but you felt empowered to just
Yes.
handle it.
I don't want to call housekeeping at 2 a.m. And I knew it was just like the chain came loose. And I don't know how I know it, but I know I pay attention. It's because I'm curious. Because I am curious. And I don't consider myself a super curious person, but I'm curious. Whenever a handyman would come over, or a repairman would come over, I'd watch. And I even had, I think I shared the story with you. I actually had a handyman for years. And he would give me a discount on his services if I was his apprentice and helped him. And I loved it.
How awesome is that?
Yes, because I wanted to learn. But I was scared. To mess up.
Right.
So, that's a tip I have. Like, if you are allowing fear to get in your way of doing it yourself, of being a DIYer, and you really want to try it yourself, so find somebody to do it with you who might know a little more.
Yeah. And you feed
like you.
off of, yes, like me. And I actually do that service that I come into women's homes and I buddy with them. But that's how you learn best, is by watching and doing and being a part of that and having someone coaching you over your shoulder and just saying, do this, do that, or here's a better way.
Yes.
Showing you the tips and the tricks to get things done. You were one of the women that attended my very first DIY day last year.
Loved it.
We had 28 women gather for a full day hands-on learning, and it was a heck of a fun day. It was a lot of fun.
So talk about empowering.
Yeah.
It
was a good day.
Your approach to DIY is it creates ease around the fear.
Well, thank you.
You do. You make it so that, okay, I can do this. Beth says I can do this, so I can do this.
Well, and I tell women all the time, and I don't leave the guys out, but I'm speaking to the girls. If we have the ability to give birth to a human,
we can fix a
we
toilet.
can fix a toilet. Like, seriously, let's keep things in perspective. What was one of the things that you learned from DIY Day that was like super cool?
Okay, so first of all, the caulking. I always love the caulking because I was scared to caulk, but I realized you can't mess it up. You really can't.
Yeah.
And that a great tip is what do you do? How do you not ruin the caulking gun by using the electrical cap?
Yes. When you were done caulking, you put the electrical cap on top of the tube so that it doesn't dry out and you can reuse it. Because chances are you may not want to do both bathtubs the same day.
Yep.
So 3-4 weeks later, you go to do the second bathtub. You don't want that caulk to be dried out. But the electrical cap, the big blue ones work better.
The big blue ones.
They're chunky.
Yes.
They fit better. We've talked about empowering our kids because we're big into making lively adults. So what skills do you teach your kids, your son and daughter, when they went away about being on their own?
As far as, when they get their own apartment, they need to know where the fuse boxes are. And I do have to give a shout out to my son because my son, Dan, is 26 and he does contracting and carpenter work. So he knows a lot more than I know now, but it's know where the main water valve is to shut off. And actually, I don't know if they even know that. Note to self,
homework.
To call after this, homework. But definitely like where the circuit breakers are.
Yeah. Those are just some of the core
That's
things.
something my parents taught me.
Yes, the core things of, you're leaving these young people in a new environment, into a new space, and do they know where the water shut off is? The gas shut off, if the unit has gas.
And if I can, like when you talk about the water shut off, because water damage is, it's nasty. But even teaching them at the bottom of the toilet and behind the toilet, there's that shut off for the toilet. So when a toilet starts to overflow or run or leak, turn that.
Yes.
You're good.
You can isolate the washer, the toilet, whatever it is. But to know where the water main as a whole is so vital. And it's just empowering. I remember a time, I had always taught my kids this. We have a big tag on our water main that says water main, right? A big tag hanging on it. So if I said to the kids when I wasn't home, go to the closet, open the door and there's that valve, turn that knob. It's marked, it's labeled, they know where to go. One time my son called me, I was out and he said, the refrigerator water dispenser won't shut off.
Oh.
And I said to him, well, what are you doing? And he's like, no problem, Mom. I got a trash can in front of the refrigerator. But now what do I do? Well, I was able to say to him, he knew where the water main was, but I was able to direct him to the saddle valve. It's a little special valve for the water lines right under the refrigerator. And he was able to find it and turn that off. So he didn't have to shut the whole house. But it's empowering your kids
Yes.
when you're not there, to be able to do something.
It is.
And it's really important. Now, I have a very special question to ask you.
Okay, lay it on me.
And I didn't tell you this, you know nothing about this.
Uh-oh.
So my question is, if you were a tool, what would you be and why?
I think I'd have to say a hammer.
Okay.
I think because it's powerful.
Okay.
And it's fast. Like you hit the nail and it goes right in, and everybody who knows me knows everything I do is fast. It's like, why do I like tennis? Because you're hitting a ball super fast versus golf, where you're hitting just a ball very long.
Right.
So I think it's like that immediate gratification of pounding, and the pounding is empowering.
The pace and
Yeah.
and
the feel of it.
For me, the hammer is the most important as well. Like, I'm all about the hammer. I wear it on my neck. I have photographs of me that's with my mother's hammer. It's such an important tool. But I think for you, it's about impact.
It is. Impact.
You make impact in the world. And I think that's really powerful.
Thank you.
You do.
Yeah.
You impact the world.
There you got a little insight into the psyche of Jodi. I don't know what that means, but yes, impact. I like that. Thank you.
Yeah. You impact people. Okay, so Jodi, how can we find more about you?
Oh, just jodisilverman.com. Everything is there that you need to know.
Perfect. Well, thank you for being here. And remember, doing it yourself doesn't mean doing it alone.
They're on.